Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to do a follow-up to Webtoon and contracts, and doesn't look like Webtoon creators are getting a very good deal.
No.
So if you listen to our previous episode, we did 2 episodes actually, I think, talking about Webtoon and allegations that their new originals contract was very predatory and very one-sided and very different from what they were offering creators at the beginning. And now we seem to have more proof that that is the case. But not only that, they're also changing up how you can monetize your comic on their platform. Spoiler, it involves begging your fans for money.
Shocker.
Shocker. Speaking of which, patreon.com/clownfishtv, begging our fans for money. But no, this is the new reality. They're basically transitioning away from an ad-supported model to a patron type model. And, you know, they were working with Patreon at one point, which we'll talk about later, because we actually put our reruns of Shadowbinders on Webtoon in exchange for them. They would drop like $1,000 or $1,200 a month or something into our Patreon, which was cool because we already did the work. But they don't do that anymore. They're changing everything now. So, and this particular creator, apparently, they were mad that they got a deal or self-publishing their own book.
They got it through Oni.
Oh, they got through Oni Press.
It's Oni.
And they're not allowed to promote it because Webtoon doesn't get a cut.
So apparently they had one of the old deals where you were allowed to take your book someplace
which
else.
I knew that was the case because I said before you could do that.
You could get a book deal someplace else. But because it wasn't through them and they're not making money on it, they're basically, what it sounds like is they're not letting them run the ad on their page. Like they're blocking the ad out, but they're probably putting it in their comic or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're not letting them run it. That's how it sounds to me.
Yeah, they've look, I'll be honest, they do frown upon that. I know that they said before, like, even back when we were on Webtoon, like, you were not allowed to push your audience to another webcomic platform. Like, if you had a comic at Tapas or something,
you were more than allowed to bring your audience from other places to that.
Oh, in fact, they encouraged it.
Yeah. You were allowed to go pay to promote and then bring your audience to them and pay for all the promotions so they got free advertising. That was fine. Absolutely.
They were actually telling people to go back when Project Wonderful was a thing. They were telling people to promote their webcomics over there. That was an option to get them to
bring it to Webtoon so that they could monetize your audience.
Absolutely.
And then you don't get jack unless you got a deal, and then that deal is in quotes.
Yeah, because you're paying to bring people to the platform. Once they got your readers from your website onto their platform, then they would get plugged into the system. Then they'd start marketing other comics to them too. So, you know, they didn't have a problem with that. But let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
So this actually came from Reddit, and man, they're just letting the tea spill on Reddit about Webtoon. Webtoon hit a new low with how they treat creators, and we're going to go out to the post here. This is, I guess, Covenant Volume 1. This is the person that created it, Exploded Kid, new account, and it is coming from Oni. My publisher, Webtoon, is trying to sabotage my graphic novel launch by deleting my credits off my episodes and prohibiting me from telling my own readers that the webcomic they read is available as a book. The credits they're deleting are shown below.
Because they changed their credits to put their book advertisement in the credits.
Yeah.
Which I know they don't want you to, whether it be book advertisement or something else, they usually don't let you do that. But,
yeah.
But still, they're not getting a cut. If they were getting a cut of this, I guarantee they have no problem with that.
Yeah, because remember that new originals contract, they want the right to be able to cut these deals themselves. And if this person made a deal with Oni themselves, then that cuts Webtoon out of the equation completely. They go on to say their lack of support and attempts to undermine my career has been incredibly damaging to my mental health and is greatly impacting my ability to continue creating my series. Their actions prevent me from reaching my 700,000K readers and will greatly hurt my book sales. Yeah, because when Oni signed a deal with them, I guarantee you they took a look at the platform and they're like, oh, well, even if a small percentage of your readers bought your graphic novel, that's still a lot of sales for us.
But then Webtoons is going to argue that the 700,000 readers were their readers.
Yes.
Even if you advertised and brought them to them, they're going to say that they're their readers.
Yep. They've allowed every single other series on the platform that has been printed to promote their books except for me, citing new policies that conveniently coincide with my book. And we're going to talk about that because they are spelling out the new terms. But yeah, it is interesting. Saying new policies that conveniently coincide with my book launch. Apparently, they feel comfortable forbidding me to promote my graphic novel because how do they, Webtoon, even benefit from me promoting my book? Is that what they actually said?
I don't know.
Quotes, seeing as I'm a creator who narrowly evaded their IP grabbing endeavors, they see no real reason to even allow me to tell my readers about my book. If you're new to me and my work, you might not know I'm very outspoken about artists and workers' rights compensation. Well, that you're in the wrong business.
Right. Webtoons is not the place I would have
Bring
gone.
it to you, but you're in the wrong business. You're at the wrong place. And discuss unethical Webtoon practices, so I strongly feel this is retaliation. Of course, it probably is just convenient timing. Were they the ones that leaked the new contract, I wonder? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Or they were, I don't know. There's probably a whole group of them, honestly. They're probably leaking contracts all over the place. They'll probably reply to saying, well, we just said you have to put it on your creator page. You can't just put it in your Webtoon. That is actually true. They were telling us that back in like 2017, 2018. Couldn't do that. Difference is in reach is 700,000 readers on my Webtoon and 11,000 readers on my creator page. That's it. They don't actually go to the creator page. A lot of people just read because you get a notification, when somebody updates. So they read the new episode. And we saw that too. Like if we wanted to talk about anything, it had to be in an episode. It couldn't be because nobody cared. Nobody cared. They didn't go to your page. From unfairly age gating my comic, denying me raises despite 3 years of back-breaking labor, and now sabotaging my book launch, they've completely destroyed my mental health, and I will no longer stay silent. If you're a reader that I'm no longer able to reach through my series or someone who might appreciate supernatural action comic, please consider pre-ordering my graphic novel. Thread above contains my feelings about my experience and relaying what I experienced happening to me in my comic and what I feel.
Okay,
That's covering your butt for legal reasons. What I feel are the motivations behind the actions. Yeah, this isn't going to help.
A disclaimer for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, that is smart because I'm thinking this person is lawyered up, especially if you're dealing with a book publisher too. So they actually do work with some of Oni Press's competitors. They cut deals with Oni Press's competitors, so that probably factors into it too, because now their Webtoon book is going to be on the stands next to the ones that Webtoon gave a blessing to, that they have with, like, I don't know who, I think it was like 7Cs or somebody's doing the Webtoon books. So yeah, I mean, this isn't a good look, right?
No, but not surprising.
No, but I mean, this is not surprising at all, and this does go along with what the other leaker of the current contract was saying, that Webtoon basically wants to own you.
Was anybody else saying anything in the Reddit that they had similar situations? Or I didn't read the Reddit thread. I read the Twitter thread, the X thread.
Yeah, this is coming from this is going to chase a lot of people off.
They said the same thing happened with Suitor Armor. The creator implied it in our Discord server.
Really? It's already posted here with more details. Let's see here. Why would they do that? This is it. Considering how last week or so someone revealed Webtoon's scummy and downright unethical contract and how it mentions the IP and publishing rights, I don't doubt Webtoon is out to pull this slimy stunt. If you don't profit behavior, Webtoon is doing what the fuck. Oh, if you don't profit, I don't profit. The company is going a little too far. They have too much ego because of content. Yeah, COVID, and they can't let go. Because of COVID, and they can't let go of the past or Basically, look, here's what we said before. And this is what's probably behind it. They have had some major hits on Webtoons, like Lore Olympus, and that person, like this person, I think her name's Rachel, but anyway, got to keep her publishing rights, and she went and sold a shit ton of books.
Right. And here's the thing. It's like, as far as the Webtoons is concerned, a lot of these people, it sounds like they're younger. I think that other person's 25. You weren't around when this started. Okay. We were, but you weren't doing this kind of thing when this started. It was people that were with the platform when it started and bringing all their audiences over, and then, telling everybody else about it and building it up over the years that got it to the place it is now, that they're leveraging these audiences and demanding the moon. And it's kind of shit because if you take away creators, you got nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Flip side is, if you go into it and then you take a deal and you sign it, then you're stuck with what you're stuck with.
Well, here's another creator. They said there's an update here. A. Razin's Manny episode 4 has been delayed due to a last minute review from Webtoons. I'm not familiar with this creator, but he says, "Dear readers, I want to inform you about the reason why a new episode has not been published. The Webtoon team has initiated a process of reviewing and implementing guidelines on the content of the episodes of Manny, including some already published.
They said they weren't going to let you. They were going to let you do what you wanted.
What happened to that bullshittery there? Like, oh, okay.
Since these changes could alter the story and the characters, I will need some time to review them with the attention they deserve. Well, they said that you're allowed to do whatever you want.
Wow. This decision came to my attention just a couple hours ago when I woke up. This is why this week's new episode has not been published, and I've not been able to share this message with you earlier. This situation is complicated for me as I've continued working on my projects same way for the past 7 years, addressing similar themes, following the same content guidelines while trying to remain true to my own vision as an author. Please, I need you not to forget this story when I address these changes. I hope to resume creation soon. Thank you for support. So yeah, it sounds like now they want editorial input.
He's one of the most popular horror authors. Now the other person was a horror person too. They start censoring his stuff more at the beginning of the end for the horror thriller comics.
But then can you do like full-on nudie comics?
I don't know, but I'm just saying the other person was the one that had talked about the deal was a horror comic also. The one that did the Q&A, Ask Me Anything.
Oh, yeah.
That was a horror comic person. And they're like, that's happening. What's happening at Webtoons? It feels like they're unraveling. Money.
Yeah, money.
Were you going to say something money?
I was going to say something money. I think what's going on is it could be that to monetize the app, since it is an app primarily, Webtoons, they have certain guidelines that they have to adhere to get into certain stores, certain app stores. It could be the advertiser guidelines. They're not going to put ads on pages that have gratuitous violence or sex.
That could be. That's a very good point. Here's the one thing, though, people are saying about, we did bring up all the people coming to Webtoons because people brought their audiences with them. The flip side is running a image-heavy site like that costs them a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
Like, I can't express to you how much money it probably costs them to maintain the Webtoon site. So, I mean, asking for something is not terrible. It's when you're starting to be like this ridiculous that I'm starting to think maybe there's, a financial hardship behind the scenes because now you're putting the onus on creators' audiences to pay them.
Well,
you have this.
Yeah, remember? Yeah, and we're going to talk about that too, because now they're basically making your audience tip you for money. And that's according to The Beat. They just released some new guidelines. I think they're getting the word from on high from Naver, which owns Webtoon. Naver is basically the South Korean version of Google, as I understand it. And they're a mega conglomerate. And I have to wonder if they gave them so long to become like self-sufficient. And they're like, well, you guys have been around for about 10 years now. And
I think it's longer than 10.
I think it was like
I guess it was
2014, 2014, I think they came around.
Was it that? I thought it was like,
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it was 2013, 2014.
But I think you can trace the destruction of the webcomic scene. I'm not kidding. Look, things evolve, whatever, but you can literally trace the destruction of the webcomic scene to the introduction of Webtoons.
I think you could also argue that webcomics got the chance it got because of Webtoons, because they centralized it, and people, before you had to go to all these different sites to remember it, everybody could go one spot. So I think it gave like Lore Olympus and things like that a better chance. So I think you can make the argument both ways. But as far as the webcomic scene as it was, where it was monetizable and all other stuff, yes, that definitely ended.
Yeah.
I would argue HiveWorks had a lot to do with that too, but that's a whole other discussion.
That's a whole other, because
I will stand on that hill to the day I die, because I was there.
Close to the end of webcomics, there was a network that basically tried to scoop up a bunch of these independent websites and put them under one banner. And the problem is it centralized all the power, and if you weren't part of that group, your stuff wasn't getting found.
Well, they also went out to Project Wonderful, and
they destroyed Project Wonderful.
I can tell you that is
they
true.
Destroyed Project Wonderful. They basically
we were there when that went down, and we were getting inquiries from Project Wonderful asking us what the heck was going on about something.
I had a phone. I literally have. I'll say it, it's been like 10 years. I don't give a shit. I had a phone call with Project Wonderful, HiveWorks, the people that ran HiveWorks, the person in charge of their advertising
at the time.
I don't know who's in charge now or whatever. were, but they were deliberately running up. Project Wonderful was kind of like an eBay for ads, and you could bid on.
It was so helpful.
Oh, it was fantastic. If I had the opportunity,
Webtoons even.
I would have bought Project Wonderful in a heartbeat if I knew that Ryan North was going to shut it down. But then he went on to work for Marvel, and he worked for he wrote Squirrel Girl or something. I don't know what he did, but yeah, he shut it down. Probably because it wasn't worth it. But what happened was that was like the lifeline. Basically, you could advertise your site on somebody else's site, and everybody was in this network, and everybody got paid. And a lot of times people just take the money that they got paid for the bidding, and then they would just roll it back into advertising their own comic, and it worked. But I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail. But basically, Hiveworks, since they centralized everything, they had all the power. They were anybody that was out of that group, they would run against them and basically chase you out of. They would run.
They would do something like if you before they started doing this, like if you wanted to run a spot and you wanted to pay $1 a day or whatever it was. Let's use $1 because it's easy. You would basically if people that could outbid you. And then they could maybe want to pay $1.50. And when they ran out of their money, then you go back to $1. And that's how it was. Like everybody, kind of just, took their turns and that's how it went. When they came along, if you had bid like $50 on the page for a day, that would keep you on there for a couple of days. They would bid it to 51 to run you well, they would bid it up like to whatever it was. They would bid it up to like $49.99. Just to make sure that you ran out of your money, so that they could get it for $1.
It was a very Disney-esque way of doing things. Basically, we're gonna run you out of So
they would bid right underneath you to run you out of money, so they could get it cheap.
So everything was primed for Webtoon to take over when they came in, because at that point, the independent webcomic space was decimated. So a lot of people jumped ship to Webtoon, and a lot of younger creators only knew Webtoon. But yeah, back in the day, everybody used to just do their own thing. It was the Wild
West, man.
It was a Wild West, and you'd hold on your publishing rights, and you'd cut deals, and there were people getting deals with publishers and everything. But now, if you want to get seen, it's almost impossible on your own website. So you have to go through Webtoon or Tapas or something
things like that. Like you had Drunk Duck and stuff like that back in the day too. But it wasn't like it is now. Like if you cannot get found unless you're on one of these main sites.
Yeah. So that's kind of, so it's a catch-22. If you want to do digital comics, short of going and building your own platforms, is what I'm saying. Like it was hard. It was very hard back in the day to do that, because even Shadowbinders hosting it was like freaking $200-$300 a month just to host it, because we had so much traffic, and it was image heavy.
He literally got audited once because they couldn't understand why we were spending all this money on hosting and
a free comic
and advertising. Anyway, going back to topic.
Yes.
Well, let's talk about the Webtoons changes they just did to everybody else who weren't the creator.
Yeah, so this is actually coming from the beat, but it's not Heidi McDonald. It's Justin Guerrero. Wasn't he on America's Got Talent? Or
wasn't
he like American Idol? Justin Guerrero,
no.
Gorini, wasn't that? I don't know. Anyway, this person's a webcomics creator, and they said March 28th, Webtoon Canvas released an email announcing the newest monetization feature for creators on their self-publishing platform. It's called Super Likes.
That's wow.
Wow. Creative. It's not just a like, it's a super like. This comes
it costs more money.
Yep, this comes a little over a year after Webtoon discontinued their creator reward program. Now, I heard that they did. I wasn't sure what happened, but again, when we were there, based on your views, they would put money in your Patreon account. And that's what they did. So, like I said, they would drop, and we were doing pretty good. We were toward the top of the, whatever they would cap it a certain amount, but I think we were getting like $1,000 or $1,200 a month or something like that, which again it was nice every month to get, because it was just
did it go that high? I don't remember.
Yeah, it did.
It's been so long.
I think it went up to like, I want to say it was like $2,000 was like the cap.
It's
been
a long time, so.
But or $1,500. I think it was. I don't know. I don't remember. It's been years. I mean, we're talking like 8 years, but it comes a little over after they discontinued it, which acts an extension to the ad share program on Webtoon Canvas. Some benefits of super likes, some of the cost creators of Canvas, and brings up a lot more questions. Basically, look, this is what they're doing. And this is what everybody's doing now. YouTube's even doing this. Like, they get to a point where it's like, okay, we can't get any more ad revenue out of you, or it's not worth it, or we don't want to share ad revenue. The ad rates
don't make enough to qualify for these things. You keep yelling, you're not getting paid.
Right. So your readers can tip you, and then we'll just take a cut.
Yeah, we'll get more money off you, telling you that we're doing it to help you.
Well, it's like even, the super chats on YouTube, they take a cut too. Like you think you're giving somebody $50, YouTube's probably getting $20 of that. I mean, it's just the way it works. Super likes is a new monetization feature option for series creators on Webtoon's self-publishing platform. Creators on Canvas, eligible series on Canvas will allow fans and readers to show their super fans by purchasing and sending a super like on individual episodes. Yes. So probably is going to be highlight or something. They said it's expected to launch sometime within the second half of 2024. So they said it's like a donation system or whatever. So here's what happened. Yeah. The ad share program is harder to get into. To qualify for that program, the series must meet 2 requirements: have 1,000 subscribers and have 40,000 global monthly views. It sounds like YouTube. 1,000 subscribers and 40,000 hours. They just pull that out of their ass. For very new creators, this goal seems daunting. Reaching 1,000 subscribers could happen through various means. They said they've actually made it harder to get found on Webtoons, though, because what happens is the whole front page is all originals. Mm-hmm. When we were doing it, it was pretty evenly split.
It had a lot of originals, too, though, and it was hard then. So,
not like it is now.
No, but I say it's much harder now.
So once you're in the ad share program, you're going to have ads placed on your site. You have to meet a minimum threshold of $100 to even get it. The series must also maintain the viewer ads and keep the global monthly views over 200,000. So to get your $100, let me get this straight. To get your $100, you have to have 1,000 subscribers, and you have to to stay in the program, you got to get 200,000 views.
But and if you don't get $100, you don't get to take it out until you hit $100.
No, and there are some people that they might get in the program, they might never make $100. So this is when they discontinued the creator rewards. This is interesting. I knew they did. I wasn't sure exactly what happened, but they said, this leads us to the complementary program to the ad revenue share program, which was terminated in February of 2023, the creator reward program. It was created in 2018 as a temporary program to help creators on Canvas earn additional revenue from their series while Webtoon was building their U.S. ad business.
Webtoon was, while you guys were doing all the work and we were siphoning off of you to build up our ads.
To enroll in this program, creators needed to have at least updated their series once a month while maintaining over 40,000 global monthly page views. In addition to more, this is what we were in, but we were in before this.
This was the pre this, yes.
Okay, this is interesting because they're adding, wow, we actually got paid more than this. In addition, the more page views, the higher the tier, the higher the payout. For example, maintaining a steady 40,000 gets you a bronze tier with $100. Tiers go from bronze to silver to gold, with the final tier being platinum with $1,000 for 1.5 million page views. We got more than that.
CPM.
Yeah, we got more than that. I'll tell you. Well, we were there before 2018 though, so I think they've changed this multiple times. When we were there, they were doing it through Patreon, and we got both. We got advertising, and we got whatever their bonus was. So it was like usually it would wind up being, if we were getting like $1,000 or $1,200 a month, and we were not getting 1.5 million page views, we were probably getting half of that, maybe even a third of that, but they would give us like 800 or 900, and then we'd get another couple $100 in ad revenue, and then they would just drop it in our Patreon account every month. But now it sounds like they want to cut Patreon out of it and just have people just pay them super chats, and take a cut of that money. That's crazy. So in 2021, they announced they're discontinuing the creator rewards program. So they just keep look, I'm seeing a pattern here. They keep changing the terms of the service on the platform, and they keep dangling the carrot, and then they keep shrinking the carrot. So by the time you get the carrot, it's going to be like one of those little carrots you get in the little bag.
It sounds like it's going to be part of a little carrot. You get
part of a little, like a slice of a carrot. They were paying people. I'll tell you, at the very beginning, they were throwing big bucks at people to come onto the platform. They were doing contests. They were doing promotions. That the guy that they hired to run it in the U.S. actually worked for Marvel Comics. They were throwing ridiculous money at established Marvel and DC creators, which did not work in the U.S.
Which it wasn't going to, because it was webcomics. When we told them that then,
totally
they wouldn't listen to us. What do we know?
Yeah, so this is what some other creators are saying about that. So they looks like they're ending the creators reward program by the end of the year. It's going to bite for sure. I really don't have to care about page views there, so the comic won't be ahead there anymore. So this is somebody that was mirroring it. Another person says, Webtoon removing the creator rewards program from Canvas teaches us once again that no artist should ever rely on one source of income especially from a company that has the power to terminate it at any time. This person says Webtoon Canvas has officially announced the Creator Reward Program is ending January 2023. This is what they said back then. It's a huge, significant blow to Canvas. Yeah, so it's just like, and $1,000, that's the max. So you could work your ass off. You could basically make this more than a full-time job, and you make $1,000. And then,
but then they don't trust me. They're making way more than that.
Oh, they're making way more than that. They're making way more than that. So you guys are basically sharecroppers working at Webtoon. Wow, that's insane. So now they want you to, yeah. And I always see companies transitioning to this. Like, it gets to a point where it's like, oh, hey, the ads aren't working very well anymore. People aren't paying for ads, so let's have your people be able to tip. And Tapas was doing this before. Tapas did it with the coins or whatever. And I think Webtoon does coins too. But like, they keep wanting your audience to pay their bills. So they're kind of being cheerleaders for it here on Comics Beat. I can't tell somebody to do that, but again, I don't know what to tell you to do if you want to do webcomics, because there really is no alternative now. They've centralized all the power at Webtoon. Yeah, it's suicide to go start your own website. You know, and Tumblr's toast. So I don't Twitter. I don't know if you can put up with all the alt-right Nazis. You can go over to Twitter, but there it is.
I mean, I guess you can monetize with a lot of views.
Yeah,
it's going to take so many. It's not worth it.
I mean, honestly, Webtoon, as shitty as a contract is probably your best bet to build an audience if you don't have one. But
just don't sign the contract.
Don't sign that originals contract and keep your options open. That's all I'd tell you. We're going to wrap this up.
Yep.
Please subscribe. We'll talk later.
Bye.